Hello there, YouTube. It's Victor Gimmeabreakman. I keep wanting to say Gimmeabreakman. Anyway, this is a response video, so let's get right to it. It's about 8:30 a.m. Just took my kids to the Hoikuen. Not Hoken's like the dog where you take dogs. There's one of his parents. That's one of the moms that used to take her kids to the Hoikuen, which is the nursery school. I think you take stray dogs to the something. I forgot the dog place. I always, you know, as soon as I turn on the camera, I start forgetting vocabulary that I think is interesting. But anyway, I'll put it on the screen. I'll remember. This is a laundry video, walkabout video, response video combination. I'm one of the things I used to do quite a bit when I had more time was to shout out to other J-vloggers that I think are worthy. And one of those is Jasmine. Jasmine goes by the name of Enlightize, I believe that's her name. I want to say Enlightize, but maybe it's Enlightize. And I keep forgetting that she was in Peru a long time ago, though she's not Peruvian. And it's not because she's black. I mean, she could be Peruvian because there are black Peruvians as well. They live in a part of Lima called La Victoria, which I remember. It's kind of near my grandma's house. Anyway, let's get to the reason I'm making this video, which is basically to encourage you to go check out if you're interested in J-vloggers who deserve more attention. Jasmine is one of them. And this is also a laundry video, which means I just walk around the neighborhood and talk while I spill my thoughts on you and forget words that I should know. Okay, so this is I just walked a few blocks off from where the nursery school is. And this is a typical neighborhood. Anyway, so Jasmine, I don't watch a lot of videos right now, anybody's videos, so pardon that, but you know, I got two kids now, you know, I don't have to give excuses, but this is a garden that someone has built up by themselves. Jasmine apparently lives with Tikio Sam now, which is interesting. As you may or may not know, Tikio and Sam and I used to be, I'd say, fairly good friends, but I feel like we had a falling out. The details are not necessary to go into. I'm surprised though, because a few people that have lived with him in the past have told me, well, they gave him a poor Yelp review. Let's just leave it at that. So I hope everything goes well with Jasmine. And you know, I think you shouldn't linger on the past. So I just hope the future is bright for her and her living situation. And I gotta say, that green screen looks awesome. She's got an awesome looking green screen in her videos. And I don't know how I'm curious as to the light setup. Well, this is where these have been hanging out for years here. I don't know why. These are tatami mats and they don't toss them. Look at this garbage here. Look at a car window. I feel like that would be a great prop inside. Weird garbage they have in this area. I'm not interested in any of this garbage. I'm just wondering why it's still here. Anyway, so Jasmine talks about being in Japan for 5 years, which you might think is a long time, and I guess it's a significant amount of time to make a respectable opinion about the country. What happens is that a lot of us who've lived here a while, and someone, I think their name Kaiden Eric on Twitter the other day mentioned how Reddit Japan Life or Moving to Japan or one of those subreddits is full of idiots, and they're surprised they can even tie their shoes because they ask such, you know, basic questions. And another person wrote, yeah, anytime he makes an opinion about Japan, someone who's never been here is sure to say something like, well, actually. Yeah, people like to educate and give different opinions, and I have mentioned in the past that I think it's important to make videos responding to other J-vloggers and give you different views on their views, right? kind of balance things out a little bit. Everyone, I mean, no one's views are wrong. They're just, some of them are just extreme, and some of them, even like someone like Ryan Boundless, who's extremely negative in general. If you don't know him, don't worry about it. I don't think he lives in Japan anymore. Even someone like him, his views are valid, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't make a video saying, dude, you gotta lighten up a little bit, because man, you are so negative. Anyway, Jasmine talks about a few things, and I'm using my memory, so I hope I'm able to touch upon all the things she mentions. One of the first things she mentioned, I think, was the police here in the crime and police in Japan. And she mentions how basically Japan's got a pretty, look at that, infamous bad history when it comes to policing, and because they have a 99%, well, how do I do this quickly? If you get arrested in Japan, they're going to basically force you to confess to something, even if you didn't do it, even if you're innocent. They've got a 99.9% or something conviction rate, which is pretty accurate in general. And she talks about gon, and she pronounces it gon, which I think it's gon actually, but oh, what's the big deal? This French guy who was brought over to be the CEO of Nissan, and he was an industry icon, and this guy's always here every morning riding his bicycle. If I bring my kids into one section, he'll move to another section, but he'll keep riding his bicycle in a circle. It's kind of funny. Now he's moving because he thinks I'm taking over. So anyway, she talks about how unfair Japan is and how relentless they are in the interrogations, and they don't let you talk to your lawyers, your family, and it is pretty fucked up. I gotta admit that. I'm not going to defend Japan at all when it comes to that, but at the same time, I will also tell you that I've never been, I'm sorry, I've been stopped once for speeding, once for an illegal U-turn, I think. Once for, I got maybe one or two parking tickets, and once for turning left on a red, which I miscalculated. And yeah, I got tickets, but I've never, and I've been stopped on a bicycle once because I was wearing my headphones, and they just made a new law that said you can no longer wear headphones when you're on a bicycle, and if you do, put in only one earphone into your headphone, and that'll be fine. Notice shrines are often connected to little parks, right? Anyway, and I've been stopped once while my headphones were in a few months later. In fact, just about 2 weeks ago, and a cop said, hey, there have been a lot of accidents recently, so here's a free light for your bicycle. Oh, but it appears you already have one, but take another one. So he was basically going to give me a flyer saying, be careful of car accidents, which showed some bicycle getting hit by a car. Pretty graphic, actually. And he gave me a free light for my bicycle. Yeah, so that's about it. Oh yeah, once many years ago, before my Japanese was that good, or conversational I should say, he stopped me riding. I was sitting on the back of a bicycle that my girlfriend was riding. She was pedaling, and he bawled her out. He's like, "How you know better than to be doing shit like this?" I was surprised. Like, geez, lay off, man. Not a big deal. It's like almost like a non-crime, like jaywalking or something. But I've never had any hassle, really. And I'll also tell you this: I've known people who've gone to jail in Japan who are residents in Japan, permanent residents and non-permanent residents, and one guy was arrested. I know one guy who was arrested for being at an illegal poker gambling site in Tokyo, and he lives in Nagoya, but he's in Tokyo visiting, and he went to a gambling site one day. Look at this guy. He comes here and smokes in the morning. I think his stomach just growled at me. But he was in jail for a complete month, and then they let him out with no charges. Went back to work. Yeah. And I know a couple guys who've been taken to jail for getting into fights in the street and stuff, and unless the other party presses charges, they basically let you go. They're like, look, if you press charges, then that guy's going to press charges, and you're both going to go to jail. So it's better you guys just settle this amongst yourselves. That's often the case. Of course, these are all anecdotal and they're not really statistically significant. Always remember that. Oh, a lot of cats around here. What's going on here? Hello, cat. Hello, cat. And then I know another guy who I've heard of people who've gone to jail. Oh yeah, who've gone to jail and then they get out and they get to stay in Japan. So here's what I'm saying. Even if you go to jail, it doesn't mean you're going to stay there. And there's a good chance you can get out and you're not going to be convicted or anything like that. So it's weird. And it really is case by case, you know. It really depends on your case. But like Jasmine says, and I agree with her completely, just stay out of trouble, man. I mean, I can do it. I'm the kind of guy who like stops people in the street for doing stupid shit. I'm that kind of idiot, right? So, or moron, I should say. Excuse me to all the idiots. I'm that kind of person, but I've managed to stay out of jail and not be arrested. And I've actually gone to the police station and asked them once. I said, if you're arrested, do you automatically get deported? And they're like, no, not at all. That's not the case. It really depends. So you won't be deported because you're arrested. Although a lot of us who are here would probably prefer that people who, you know, troublemakers get deported. You know, it looks bad for everybody. But I try to improve my image, or not improve my image. I try to represent as well. Look at these little blossoming flowers here. Well, that's nice. It's spring, sign of spring. Yeah, so we'll see a lot. Anyway, look at this little tiny plot of land. I wonder what this would go for. I'd estimate this plot go for at least $100,000, at least. Anyway, who knows? Yeah, just to give you an idea, houses in this area probably about, this house is probably about $400,000 to $500,000. I'm guessing that one maybe 200,000, a little bit older, and the plot is smaller. Now this plot right here, plot and house, 300,000, maybe a little bit less because it's a little bit farther from the station. Anyway, who cares? Oh, someone in a wheelchair lives here who's got a special contraption to help them get in and out of the house. Even in tiny houses, they are able to make them wheelchair friendly. It's always interesting to me. We do have some nice houses here. I mean, relatively speaking, nothing like the sizes that we have back in the States. But anyway, so I agree with Jasmine, of course. There's nothing to disagree with that. I don't know what she thought before she came to Japan, but that's one thing. Number two, she talked about entertainment. She thought like Tokyo was all a big wonderland, and then she talked about how she doesn't have time for karaoke, and who has time for that? And she threw in some meme, or a little viral video clip, which I always think is interesting. People do, a lot of people do that for entertainment purposes these days. I don't know if it's I think it seems pretty time consumptive. Is that a word? Consumptive? Seems like that would take a lot. Time consuming to do that kind of stuff. They've built a lot of new houses in this area. I used to walk around a lot with Maggie when Maggie was alive, so I would know all these neighborhoods because we would always go a different route. Huh. Oh, this used to be a sample house, but now it looks like someone's moved in. Yeah, I remember when they put this up the first time. It used to be a sample house. Huh. That's interesting. It's actually pretty decent looking. I like it. I like the wood. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, nice new house next to an old, kind of shabby house with shitty old washing machines. Sorry to be just so judgmental. I saw an interesting quote the other day. People don't like to think, so they prefer to judge, which is a good point. Yeah. Anyway, so then she talks about entertainment, how she thought Tokyo would be a big entertainment capital. Well, you know, if you've got money anywhere in the world, it's just can be fun, can be full fun, can be, you know, can be an amusement park for you. But if you got to work, pay the bills and stuff, in the summer and spring, trees grow up here, and this place is full of flowers. But right now, we've only got these guys to look at. But they're nice. I just forget what these are called. Someone tell me what those are called. I forgot. I think someone said something in the comments the other day about those. Unfortunately, most of us who come over, at first at least, if you come over on a teaching salary, or if you're on a teaching salary or something, you'll have time to have fun, but you know, you won't have that much time. And everyone's got their own idea of what is a worthy use of their money. So if you want to spend time on karaoke, by all means, there's a lot of cheap places. Karaoke is actually not that expensive, but it is time consuming. But yeah, I would say I'm, as you can tell, I'm quite happy just walking around neighborhoods and looking around. That's kind of calming for me. There's something I read about the other day called a walking therapy, which basically says if you're depressed, you should just take walks, and it's good for you. Right near my house, there's an old folks home, and every morning when I'm walking the kids, not every morning, but on many occasions when I'm walking the kids to school, they will we'll run into the group of old people walking around. They've got caretakers taking care of them, you know, helping them, guiding them, making sure they don't fall down, break a hip or anything. Oh, look at this Buddhist guy riding a, look at that. That's something you only see in Japan. I love images like that. Buddhist guy on a motorcycle wearing his monk, that's what I should say. Oh, it's open today. That's weird. The gates. This used to be open all the time, but they closed it months ago, or years ago actually. There's always something interesting in here. Let's go take a look. I don't know why that's open. So this is the back of a shrine, and here this is where they cook, or I'm sorry, they don't cook. They burn old amulets. Oh, the chimney is kind of gone. That's weird. It seems to have collapsed. It used to be quite taller. Bizarre. So here, people bring their charms, old good luck charms and religious things and dolls and stuff to a container over there, and then they bring it back here and burn it, because that's the way to return those religious things to the gods. Right? This is a pretty old shrine. This is like a 600-year-old shrine that's in a little bit far from my neighborhood, but I like coming here. I used to come here with Maggie all the time. This part's always been closed off, but in the summer, or actually in the spring, the crows start nesting here. You'll see baby crows once in a while. I don't know what happened here. That might have been I don't know what this is. Why is this small messy like this? Anyway, so they burn the stuff over here. A lot of things that they burn are metallic and they don't burn all the way. And what happens is they get a shovel and they shovel it over onto this pile over here. And if you sift through here sometimes, you'll see, oh, look at this, see? What's that? That's some kind of bell. Oh, it's a maneki nickel. Look at that, it's a maneki nickel. See? It's a little maneki nickel. Here's a maneki nickel head. You just see the head there. So maybe a store went out of business and they took the maneki nickel and threw it in here. So in this pile of crap, you'll see broken ceramics. Oh, here's something else. That's a candle holder. Nothing extremely interesting, but I found old coins there before for some reason. Anyway, back to Tokyo. Is Tokyo Disneyland? No, it's not. It's just a big city, but it's a lot of fun. It's like all big cities can be really exciting. It's got a lot of, I will say Tokyo is just a fascinating place to just walk through. There's so many neighborhoods, so many interesting buildings. It's I think a photographer's dreamland. You'll just see things everywhere, little things hidden in every corner and crevice between buildings and such. Oh, same flowers we saw before. Anyway, yeah, the crows are getting horny. Time to start fighting for your mates, I guess, right? That's one thing she said. What else did she talk about that she was interested in, that I thought was interesting? I think she made a very good point about carrying your happiness with you. Maybe she didn't say that, but I think I equated it with my theory, which is basically the same thing. Carry your happiness with you. So a lot of people in Japan, you can watch her video, of course. I encourage you to watch her. She's a good vlogger. She's well-spoken and very friendly, very positive. She's a little bit over the top for me, like today's the best day of my life kind of stuff. That kind that stuff kind of makes me roll my eyes a little bit, but only because I'm a cynical old bastard. But I think it's very positive and very good. But she mentions how you've got to be really independent, I think, psychologically to live here, because a lot of people come here, they get homesick, and they do make friends with other people, but then their friends leave, right? Oh, so we're having a little matsuri on the 6th of March at 10 a.m. from 10 a.m. All right. Okay, cool. What is that? I think that's a Sunday. I don't remember. 6, no, it's a Friday. It's a Friday. I'm working. 10 a.m. Actually, it might be free. Or maybe I'll come. Watch for that video if I come. So as much as I can say, as wonderful as Japan is when it comes to crime. Oh yeah, by the way, going back to the police thing. This is something she didn't mention, but you really should know. Japan is so goddamn safe. It's amazing. I mean, of course, crime happens here too, but it is comparatively just so safe. You can leave your backpack, and while you go into, like, I went to Legoland the other day. We would leave our backpack outside. So I noticed some guy left his camera at the table. We went to the bathroom. It's like a Canon 80D, and he just left it when the bathroom came out, and his camera was still there again. Right? Oh, that's interesting. So someone took some of the old garbage there. I'm sure these came out of the burnt pile. There's an inoshishi, which is a boar. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a monkey. Facing the wrong way. Let me face you. There's a saru with a princess on top. And over here, we've got a little doggy. A little puppy. Okay. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, crime is really, I mean, it's just such a safe country. But crime does occur. One of the biggest crimes you have here in Japan is akisu, which is when people will break into your house because you left the door open. Or they sometimes break in, but sometimes they'll just walk in because people leave the doors open. And something else that has happened here at this particular shrine. See this? This is a contribution box or donation box. Oh, and people have broken this. Oh, looks like this is. People have broken this and taken this. I've come here. It's been broken before. I called the police once. So that kind of stuff happens, and of course people do. Oh, and there's like vandalism happens and littering happens, right? So once in this shrine, I came across a. I think it was called a tenga thing, and it's a self-pleasuring Coca-Cola colored, larger, like pet bottle shaped device that you're supposed to insert part of your body into for self-gratification. And I came across one in here, and I'd never seen one before, and this is years and years and years ago. And you might think, Victor, how do you not know about those things? Well, because I have never paid for it in any way, including that way. This is the box I told you about earlier, where you can put things in, right? Oh, there's not much in there right now. So they're wrapped. So in those, I don't know if you can see that, but in here, people have brought things to be burned. There's one, and here's another one. I don't know why this one is harder to get into. Well, this must be for the good luck envelopes and stuff. There's things that you can put on your wall. Anyway, and I always forget these. These are called edama, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. You like the sound of that? I like the sound of that. This says, I hope I get better at ballet. Sorry. Ballet. Ballet ga umaku narimasu you ni. I hope I get better at ballet. I hope my family has a good, healthy time. This is, I hope I have a safe birth. Safe family. Safe inside of my family. This one, nothing. But it does say the name of the shrine, Rokushosha. It's the name of the shrine. So now I've told you a nearby shrine. Something I hope safely, something safe in the family. Oh, and good traveling. I don't get injured when I'm traveling. So yeah, I got to mention that crime here it's really not much of an issue. But there's weird crime, like people breaking things like this. Like this has been broken. You can see it's been damaged here. They've repaired it. And people do weird things like pleasure themselves in shrines, which is really disrespectful. And someone once, this is disgusting, but someone took a big dump in here years and years ago, and Maggie found it and rolled around in it, and I had to. It was like, that's like the biggest nightmare of my life, was washing that dog, human poop off that dog. It was, oh God, really. It was horrible. It was really a nightmare. I'd rather do anything but that, I think. Yeah, washing human poop off my dog was, oh my God. It took I washed her for like a good hour, I think. I don't remember, but it was horrible. Anyway, the other thing she talks about, let me get back to the loneliness thing, is, okay, if you come over here and you're the kind of person who needs a lot of close connections and hugs and stuff like that and human contact, and then you're going to find this country is a bit lonely that way. And as she said, she's the kind of person who can go to the movie theaters alone, travel alone, and me too. I've traveled many times. It's often, I mean, I'll be honest, it's often lonely the first few days. Like I've taken motorcycle trips, 10-day motorcycle trips and stuff by myself, and it's lonely the first, and I've been backpacking and in South America by myself for months at a time, and it's lonely the first few days, but after that you kind of, I don't know, it becomes kind of exciting and fun. You know what, I think they tore down a tree here. I think there was a tree here before. I don't remember being able to access this. Remember, this is a 600-year-old shrine, so some of these in the back here must be really old. Yeah. Oh, this looks like it's fell over. Did this fall over? Yeah, oh, look over this. What's this? This is like, look at that. This has fallen over. I think that used to be standing up. I don't know. Doesn't it look like it's kind of tilted there? I don't know. There's a demon there. 2 demons and some kind of king in the back there. He's on geta. Geta are Japanese shoes. Sandals, I should say. Anyway. So I guess that's about it. I would say, Japan is a great place to live, but from what I've seen of her particular situation, I think she might be doing better now, but she was in a tiny little share house before. It seemed to be very uncomfortable. But now she seems to be in a better place, and she's got that green screen, and it looks like it's working really well, so good for her. Anyway, my views on what is change. I guess I should do my own proper video about that. So maybe I will. I'll have to sit down and really think about it, though, to give you a more personal, thought out review about how things have changed for me. Because I've been here, I think, I want to say 30 years, but that's impossible. I came here in 1992, and this is 2020, so someone figure that out. It must be 29 years, 28 years? Yeah. I always get a little confused. Of course, I go back to the States every year, once or twice. And this year again, we'll be going back, taking my family, and we're planning right now. We've just finished planning out a huge trip to the Grand Canyon with my family. My dad, who's getting on in his years. Yeah, someone wrote in the last video, Victor, you've gotten old. I like to, I understand that if you're 20, the idea of 50 seems extremely ancient to you, because I used to be 20, and I used to think people who were 50 were ancient. But now when you get to 50, you'll see that it's really not that it's not that bad. And although I understand your feeling, I will counter with, I'm not old, I'm just older. So haha. Okay, boomer, anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Just wanted to take a little walk around my neighborhood. Yeah, this used to be old shitty houses, now they're parking lots. Tore it all down, put up a parking lot. And there used to be stray cats all around here, but I don't see any right now. Huh. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that's pretty much all I got for you, but I will be planning. You know what would help if anyone sent me a list of questions? Oh, there's someone looking. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. このはしご見たことないね。古いタイプですね。ああ、だいぶ古いですね。So the gardeners are at work here, really hard at work. They're doing a big job here. That ladder is called a hashigo. And as you can see, that was a pretty cool looking hashigo. Yeah, this is an old dilapidated house. Near my, in my neighborhood. Here's the kome. Oh, nice flowers. Yeah. Look at that. Anyway, おはようございます。帰りにちょっと違う道で帰ろうかなと思った。昔マギと一緒に歩いてたでしょ、いつも。だから全部分かってたけど、最近ね、いつも同じ道ばかりで。そう。あれ今やってる？あれ。そうそうそう、今ちょっと撮ってる。OK、また。またね。They know me in the neighborhood. They're pretty friendly. I will, going back to Jasmine's thing a little bit. Well, this is one of my favorite old roads. This is a complete new building. It's a huge building they just put up. So my neighborhood is up and coming again. I think I keep talking about that, but you can make friendships in your neighborhood, you know, if you make an effort to talk to people. I will say one of the best things that ever happened to me was having that dog, because people, when you have a dog, no one talks to you about where you're from. People just talk about the dog, and you have like natural conversations. Oh, that's weird. Look at that. I've seen that before. Kind of a weird look. What should I not go? Konnichiwa. 飾ってあるね。誰が飾ったんですか？主人です。面白い。失礼します。I've actually been in there. I've forgotten. Oh yeah, I've been in that house. They took me in, yeah, to just show me around. I don't know why. They said, you gotta look at our old house. So that woman that I talked to, I just said, hey. She goes, hey, what are you coming this way now? Because I don't usually come home that way. After I take the kids to nursery school. And I said, yeah, you know, I used to walk around with the dog, so I knew all the areas, but I haven't walked. I thought I would go home a different way today, just to check it out. Anyway, here's another nursery school. This one's actually close to our house, but I think it's private, and I think you got to pick up your kids earlier, so they're not for working moms, or they're, I don't forget what I said. I have no idea, but for some reason we're not here. Ohayou gozaimasu. And over here, this is a fish hard. Oh God! See, I forgot the word now. This is a little store that makes. Yeah, this is all new. That's a little store that makes hard. They get tuna, and they dry it until it becomes a hard block, and then you make maguro. It's usually tuna, but it could be bonito, and you make flakes out of it. Look at that, gorgeous. It is spring. That's a nice place to end on. Anyway, hope you guys are all happy. Everyone stays safe. Nobody gets coronavirus. See you guys in the next video. And yeah, of course, I appreciate your support on this video. And go check out Jasmine at Enlightize.
Bye bye.